Hello, everyone. I'm Laura Dorsey, and I'm with Infinite Scholars. Infinite Scholars does one thing and does one thing well. We try to help students be able to go to college. Now, we do this in a matter of ways, but we do this with our affiliate partnerships with 300 to 400 different colleges and universities. Typically, what we do is that we do a scholarship. Facilitate a scholarship fair. Okay, at the scholarship fair, we have between 50 and 100 of our closest university partners attending the scholarship fair. Today, we're going to be able to talk to one of our premier partners, Tougaloo College. Okay, so let me get right into this. Let me tell you a little bit about Tougaloo College or whatever, and then let me tell you about the fantastic presentation that we have scheduled for you today. Okay. Founded in 1869, Tougaloo College is an elite, private, historically Black, co-educational, four-year liberal arts institution. All of that together, located in Tougaloo, Mississippi. The college, just 10 miles from the capital city of Jackson, Mississippi, sits on the northern edge, encompassing the original 500 acres and nationally recognized as the cradle of the civil rights movement. Tougaloo has 29 baccalaureate degree programs, two master's degree programs. Rich in cultural fiber, this United Negro College Fund UNCF affiliated institution is a leading provider of African American health professionals, including doctors, dentists, attorneys, and educators, teachers, and principals and school superintendents in the state of Mississippi. According to the 2020 college consensus, top 50 consensus ranked HBCUs, Tougaloo is ranked as one of the top 5 historically Black colleges and universities. Out of the graduates who earn their PhDs in science, 66% of Tougaloo College grads enter graduate and professional schools immediately after graduation. Tougaloo's tuition rate is $9,314 per academic semester, roughly $18,628 annually. The 2019 University Research and Review Report named Tougaloo among America's best value universities. So, to give us more in-depth perspective of the historic Tougaloo College, we have Joel D. Swan. Joel is the lead enrollment officer for the college. In addition to his employment capacity, he is a mentor, advisor, HBCU Maid, and graduate of Jackson State University. Joel, thank you so much for being with us today and providing us the information that I'm sure our parents and our students would like to hear.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Dorsey. I really appreciate the opportunity with you and Infinite Scholars. Thank you all for being here again. My name is Joel Swan, and this is Tougaloo College. This is where history meets the future, and that is our motto, and it's been our motto for some time. Though we are the cradle of the civil rights movement, we are very, very much so historic in every sense of the word. Again, my name is Joel Swan. I'm the lead enrollment officer for the Office of Enrollment Management and Student Engagement, and this is Tougaloo College.
Benny Thompson, U.S. Representative, 2nd District of Mississippi. I came here, found a nurturing environment, teachers who cared about students, students who came from all walks of life. But the one thing that stuck out in my mind is that I found some of the smartest students you can imagine right here on campus. You know, a lot of us came to college thinking we were smart until we got to campus. We really found some smart people. Tougaloo kind of brought us along, got tutors for us if we needed, got the exposure that we needed in terms of meeting people. And so Tougaloo more or less helped turn the lights on for a lot of young African-American students. Coming from a situation where in public school, the teacher was always right. You couldn't challenge what they were saying to a situation at Tougaloo where they taught you critical thinking. They taught you to challenge anything that you thought was wrong, not because of who you are, but it was more or less being able to defend your position. The one thing for Tougaloo is it taught Benny Thompson to be proud of himself, to take second seat to no one, and not be arrogant, but be humble, but nonetheless confident in who you are. So many of us came here not really sure about our status in life. But by the time we left, it was clear that that Tougaloo education was first class. And when I started moving into the political arena, it was the Tougaloo connection that gave me the lift that I needed.
That is U.S. Congressman Benny G. Thompson. He is our second congressional state representative for the great state of Mississippi. He's not only a congressman, but he's also an alum of the historic Tougaloo College. We are not only where history meets the future, but we are the cradle of the civil rights movement. Tougaloo College is one of the most prestigious private HBCUs in the state of Mississippi. So I bring you greetings on behalf of our president, Dr. Carmen Walters, who is our second and 14th, second female and 14th president of this actual institution. Some of this information that you will see is actually relative to the times that are going on now. Since we are the cradle of the civil rights movement, those are some of the things that we are still fighting for to this day. Anything that has happened civil rights wise on the campus of Tougaloo happened in and around the state of Mississippi, but actually a lot of the events culminated on these hallowed grounds. About Tougaloo. Again, we're the second oldest historically Black college in the state of Mississippi, founded in 1869. We're founded by the American Missionary Association. And the American Missionary Association is one of the founding bodies that have gone on to establish not only our institution and our 5 sister institutions, but about 500 other institutions across these United States. We are located in Tougaloo, Mississippi, which is on the northern edge of the capital of Jackson, Mississippi. And we're located, I like to say, in a resourceful area. A lot of people talk about the ruralness of Mississippi in a general sense, but overall we are in a resourceful urban setting with a lot of resources that you all can kind of get your hands into. Let's see. Our relevance, we are rich in culture and heritage. We have a educational value like none other. We are actually ranked one of the best affordable institutions among a lot of the other institutions that are in the same size and relatively area of us. We bring you a personal academic attention, and we know you. Tougaloo cares. There is a great family environment because we believe in family, education, and community here on our campus. There are abundance of leadership opportunities as well as growth and development opportunities. I like to say that Tougaloo, its students run the campus, and we provide the students with a best fitting for their future. Why Tougaloo? The minimum requirement to be at Tougaloo is 2.0 GPA with evidence of an ACT or SAT score. There is no out-of-state fee because we are a private institution. There is no out-of-state fees to be had. Our total enrollment is 900. Our teacher to student or professor to student ratio is 15 to 1. We are nationally ranked. 2020 College Consensus has ranked us top 5 of private institutions in HBCU in our area. Our tuition and fees are $9,314 per academic semester, so relatively affordable, with having over top 25 producers of graduates who earn PhDs in science and engineering. Now, again, why Tougaloo? Over 40% of all the doctors, lawyers, educators who live, work, and practice in and around the state of Mississippi receive their degree here at Tougaloo College. Why Tougaloo? And what makes Tougaloo one of the names across our students' lips is because of our biological science areas. A lot of students come to Tougaloo College for our biological science areas and our STEM field areas. 60%, again, of Tougaloo graduates attend graduate school after they walk across the stage. Tougaloo's academics. We are split up into 4 academic divisions. We have the Division of Education, the Division of Natural Science, the Division of Social Science, and the Division of Humanities, which boasts 29 undergraduate degree programs with 2 graduate degree programs in Child Development and MAT, which are only housed in the Division of Education only. With having a school of this magnitude, this size, that student-to-professor ratio, we have exclusive partnerships. Brown University is one of our top premier partnerships when you're talking about the medical field and the early ID medical program. It is a 4+1 program. It was spawned out of 1963 mindset. This Brown Tougaloo Partnerships affords the student all the availability to actually enter into med school without having the MCAT, but to be coached through the MCAT upon entering into their medical field of choice. Mississippi College, University of Mississippi School of Law, those are 3+3 programs. Those are our partnerships with our Reuben V. Anderson pre-law program. Mississippi College allows you, and also the University of Mississippi allows you to get your JD in the 6 years versus the required 8 years. Mississippi State University partnership that we have, those are dealing with the engineering area of Tougaloo College. So if you're talking about mechanical, civil, electrical, and aerospace and aeronautics, those are to be had at our partnership with Mississippi State, with having a 3+3, 3+2, and 3+1 areas of emphasis. University of Mississippi Medical Center, UMMC, that is the FEE program, which is the freshman early entry program, and that deals primarily with our nursing area. So if you're talking about nursing, there are 3 ways to go. You have a traditional, accelerated, and the FEE program. That is the freshman early entry nursing program. And those are the exclusive partnerships that we have. But Tougaloo also has joined forces with a lot of other institutions such as Howard University, Harvard, Boston University, and also Buffalo University. Scholarships to be afforded to our students. There are 4 freshman merit scholarships, which are ranked in area of full ride to partial. Now, our 4 areas of our freshman scholarships are Provost, Presidential, Eagle, and Servant Leader. If you have any questions about that, I will give you the information. You can contact me directly on those. 2 transfer scholarships, those are Phi Theta Kappa and our traditional in-house transfer scholarship. Now, the deadline for those scholarships are March 15th in the respective spring year of our academic year. So if you're interested in, or you are a rising senior, that March 15th deadline is a hard deadline date, and there are requirements to actually obtain those scholarships, and they can be had at www.tougaloo.edu. Athletics. Tougaloo College does have male and female sports. We are NAIA, which is the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics, and we are part of the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference. With males, we have basketball, baseball, cross country, tennis. With females, basketball, volleyball, cross country, tennis, and I should always mention cheerleading and dance. So keep that in mind, that is a sport. So we are very much engaged in our athletics. Important websites. Tougaloo College is a UNCF affiliated institution. With that being said, I encourage all of the students to log on to www.uncf.UnitedNegroCollegeFund.org and actually apply for some of the scholarship money. UNCF is one of the oldest institutions that have been sending children to school and students to school for many, many years. There's also Thurgood Marshall, which is a TMCF. The PTK, which is the Phi Theta Kappa, that is for members only. And then there's also Coca-Cola Scholars Foundation.org and the Ron Brown.org scholarships. So that helps you out. And this also allows you to understand that Tougaloo College, being a UNCF affiliated institution, does make a significant impact on not only the working class, but these United States as a whole, and not only the state of Mississippi. We have a 552 job impact, $42 million economic impact, and a $398 million lifetime earning impact with the workforce, and also being an integral part of committing our students to the workforce.
Generations of scholars have traveled these sacred grounds. Pioneers, educators, innovators, all leaders in their respected fields that have called Tougaloo College their home. Leaders, past and present, striving to better our state and our country. Tougaloo College, where history meets the future. Your passport to success.
Tougaloo College is your passport to success. Please apply. www.tougaloo.edu. That's our phone number, our website, and this barcode right here. If you all are looking at this barcode, you can actually scan this barcode from your cellular device, and it will take you to the actual application. Follow us. We are on every social media handle or social media page. We are currently on Instagram, which is at Tougaloo, at TC Recruitment. We are on Twitter at TC Recruitment _, and we're also on Facebook at Tougaloo Enrollment. So there is no excuse for you to apply. And with that being said, I would like to thank you, as well as thank the Infinite Scholars for having us and always continuing to support the Tougaloo mission in educating our students.
Joe, great. Thanks so much for making sure that you give us all of that information.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't be able to grill you on some other additional questions and stuff that I think that I would have. Okay, so that's why I'm here, just to make sure that I do my job too.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so a couple of questions. I know that we talked about the application process. I know that you were talking about that March 15th being a firm deadline date for scholarships, but for the additional application, and is there a deadline for the additional application, and is there a rolling application that goes along with it? How does that work?
Well, that's a great question, Dr. Dorsey. We do have a rolling admissions in terms of our application. So we don't have application deadline dates. So a student can apply up until it's time for them to enter in, or it's up until time for class to start. So we do have an application, and I should mention also, there is no application fee for our applicants.
All right, perfect. Okay, that's a good thing to know. We talked a little bit about, I heard you talk a little bit about the scholarships, so I want to go back and I want to double check that. So what's the typical GPA and the test score required to get into Tougaloo?
Well, now the main minimum requirements are 2.0, evidence of an ACT or SAT score. So that is the main, that is to get you in. Now, if we're talking scholarships, and the scholarships I mentioned on those 4 freshman scholarships, the presidential scholarship is 3.5 with a 27 and above on the ACT, or a 1220 on the SAT. That is a full ride. That's full tuition, room and board, and a healthy book voucher. Taking a step down, the Provost Scholarship is a 3.5 with a 24 to 26 on the ACT or 1100 to 1219 on the SAT. That is a full tuition, room, and board scholarship without the book voucher. Then you have your Eagle Scholarship, which is your valedictorian or salutatorian scholarship, and that is tuition only, and that's either your first or your second in your respective class at your respective high school. And then the fourth scholarship, which is a partial scholarship, is the Servant Leader Scholarship. That is a 3.0, 21 on the ACT or 1050 on the SAT. That is a partial tuition, so that's half of that $9,314. And that's the scholarship breakdown. Now, when we talk about transfer scholarships for some of our students who are actually into their associates and they want to transfer into a four-year institution, the Phi Theta Kappa, if they're only coming from Phi Theta Kappa money, would they be afforded that Phi Theta Kappa scholarship? The main transfer scholarship, a student must have between a 3.0 and 3.5 to actually get into that scholarship money.
Okay, perfect. You know what? That's exactly what I was looking for, some detailed information on that.
Yes,
And of course, all of that information, that breakdown for those scholarships is available out there on your website?
yes, ma'am, it is. And also the requirements, the requirements, I must note there are requirements. We just don't give those scholarships to you. There are requirements, yeah, there are requirements that you have to meet. There's an application, a scholarship application. With the full ride scholarships, there is a definite application. You have the 3 letters of recommendation and a personal statement. So those are some of the things that are required for those scholarships. Now, the Eagle Scholarship, which is the valedictorian salutatorian scholarship, that is an application only. The letter would come from the counselor stating whether the student is a salutatorian or a valedictorian, and that normally is that's normally kind of does away with you having to have those letters of recommendation because it's already documented from the high school level. But as far as the servant leader, there's an application as well as the letters of recommendation as well with that one. So the presidential, provost, and servant leader, those have an application, letters of recommendation, which is 3, and your personal statement. The Eagle Scholarship, which is the valedictorian, salutatorian, that is documentation that is handed from the school itself, from your counselor or your graduation coach.
Okay, then. All right, perfect. That gives us the information I'm looking for. You know, we know statistically that 100% of the students who apply are not necessarily the 100% that are getting in. So can you tell me what is your admissions rate? What is the rate? What is the percentage of students that apply that actually get into Tougaloo?
Well, since we have a 2.0 evidence of a ACT or SAT score, all of our students, are it's a high number to get in. If we're talking about the admissions rate, with those requirements, it's pretty easy to get into Tougaloo College because we only ask for evidence of an ACT, whereas some schools may ask for, a specific score. We ask for evidence, just show us. Because what we do at Tougaloo College, we build you up wherever you're at academically, and that's one of the things that we've been doing for over 150 years. We've been building students up and allowing them to soar like the eagles they are. Now, when we talk about graduation rate, we function probably at roughly at about a 56% graduation rate in terms of overarching. Now, that's kind of iffy because once you start talking about graduation rates, then you have to talk about it's relative on what the student is. Then you have to talk about, well, how long has the student been in school? Are they going the full traditional 4 years? Have they shaved off a year, going 3 years? Or are they some of the students that have gotten caught up and we're talking about 5 or so years to graduate with their baccalaureate degree? But then also with our divisions, since our biological science division is one of our premier areas, the graduation rate within that division may be higher than a rate in a social science division, because a lot of students come in with that biological science mind, that medical degree mind, and they're talking about, well, let me move into medical school, so they're more apt to finish a little early, and then they're more apt to be more so on point. So with that, it's kind of iffy, but overarching, we function overarchingly about a 56, close to a 60% graduation rate. But then again, there's variables that come into play. So it's kind of unfair, but
Okay, all right then. But that gives me a little bit about what it is that I need. Now, with your 2.0 and evidence, just evidence of an ACT or SAT score, whatever, then there is no room for a student who, like some institutions, I have something called conditional enrollment. A student might be right there, whatever, as opposed to saying, no, we're not going to accept you, but we accept you conditionally. Do you work with students who may be like right on the line?
Now that's a great question, because we leave no stone unturned.
Okay.
So, we always find students who academically have faced many challenges. So we do have a conditional admissions for some of those students who have fallen below that 2.0 area. Now, once you get into the 1.1s, the 1.3s, those are a little bit more, we'd have to take a finer look at some of those things. And a lot of times those students often will enter into, doing some other things, trades and things of that nature. But we look at the 1.9s, the 1.8s, the high 1.75s and things of that nature. And we also take in consideration what the student has done academically from their transcript. So we tend to try to read the transcript and see through, because with conditional admissions, there has to be some letters of recommendation, also some letters of intent from not only the institution, high school institution, but from that student as well. They have to do a personal statement. So we can obviously give that student a fair shake, and also look, and it's case by case. So, we do honor the student some type of grace in terms of actually looking at, their total academic self. I've had students pull me to the side and they said, my grades aren't that good. I didn't do well. What can you do for me? I've had counselors do the same thing. So, we are one of those schools. Again, if you look at our track record, you will see that we have worked with some of those GPAs that, and some of those students who thought, who actually were thrown by the wayside, and we picked them up, dust them off. And, they've been coming out, academicians, doctors, lawyers, and, some other good folks that have contributed to, not only academia, but to their respective field.
Okay. So let's talk about this. We talk about, tuition, and we know what the tuition rate to be able to get in there, like $9,314 per academic semester. Okay.
Right.
Is there a fee waiver for students who may be coming from out of state, or are you a private school? Does that even factor into it?
Well, like I said, there is no out-of-state fee, so they don't have to worry about that chunk of change. So,
okay.
And then we were, we're ranked at one of the best bang for your buck colleges. So that, with Pell Grants and things of that nature, because probably, I want to say approximately, and this is just me without having my information in front of me in terms of specific numbers, a good portion, probably about 89–90% of our students are Pell eligible students who actually receive that Pell. So a lot of those costs are kind of offset through those, that other money is offset through those Pell grants and things of that nature. But not only that, a student coming from out of state, what I've come to know is that a lot of student has money that comes with them as well. So that's why, I always lead students to the UNCF, which is United Negro College Fund, as I mentioned before, and going on that site, www.uncf.org, to actually put their hand in, and their hand in the scholarship pool that they, that's out there, the other money, the external money. When we talk about dollars and cents, we are one of the affordable colleges here. And we kind of, we've been doing it for a long time. And there's a lot of avenues for a lot of students to get money. A lot of students are just lazy. And I say that candidly, but also say it seriously, because there's a lot of money. And I always tell students, you know, what type of paper towels do you use? If they're Bounty or anything like that, they have a scholarship attached to them. I said, you drink Tropicana orange juice. There's a scholarship that Tropicana gives out. You know, do you drink Coca-Cola? Scholarship. So, you know, I tell them, and then Foot Locker, you know, a lot of our students always go shop. And I say, well, you know, look at some of these entities that you invest in, and then go and look at some of their philanthropic sides and try to get some of that money so they can invest in you. So Walmart as well. So, you know, it's a lot of, and banks. So it's a lot of avenues that I try to, you know, help students on, is to kind of cushion themselves when they talk about the cost of college. Even though it's an investment, we know it's a pretty penny.
Besides the Q son-in-law, let's talk about the daughter. One of the things that my daughter was heavily involved in is ROTC.
Right.
Okay, and that's obviously a major focus. It was like a major focus for us, for me as a parent, taking a look at that. Is ROTC available at Tougaloo?
ROTC is available. Great question. We do have students who are currently involved in ROTC, but now here's where our partnership comes in. Since we are a smaller private institution, we share that responsibility with Jackson State University. So all of the ROTC information and all of the classes and things are held on Jackson State's campus. So what a student would need to do is to get with their recruiter in their respective branch of service and coordinate those things through the respective point of contact person on our campus as well as Jackson State's campus. And then what will happen is that whatever courses that they have to take that actually they'll receive credit for, it gets transferred over into our system from the lead liaison person or program person on Jackson State's campus.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So making sure that we have that
Definitely
available.
And that's the beauty of having that's the beauty of the connection between the HBCUs. There are 7 HBCUs within the state of Mississippi. And Jackson State being one of the #1 public institutions, we do have that partnership with them, as well as some other things going on with the other institutions as well.
Okay, all right, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
One last question. I know that in this whole arena that and everything is going on, that some of the schools have had online classes available. Some of the schools are looking to focus more on online than on-campus classes. What is your thought? What is the thought process of Tougaloo as we navigate this new arena that we're in? Okay.
This thing has got us so wound up, and I really didn't want to speak on it because I really didn't want to scare anybody or confuse anybody more so than they're already confused with this current crisis that we're in. And I like to say crisis because sometimes I go out to the store and I forget my mask and I get into a crisis mode. And so my mask and gloves. But as far as it relating to Tougaloo, we've done an amazing job of communicating, and I think that's the key. And I think that's the key with everything is communication. And so we've communicated our plan of action with the onset of everything, as well as we're going through it. Tougaloo has decided, of course, to eliminate our summer session and make that totally online. And we're hoping, the reason why I've crossed my fingers, we're hoping to open up fully in the fall. The actual date hadn't been set, though we normally open in August, around August 16th. That date hadn't been set in stone as of yet. We're kind of playing some things by ear, relying on our of course, our government, our local government, to give us the play-by-play. But while they're doing that, we are taking every precaution to make sure it's safe for our students as well as our staff on campus to reduce and eliminate the spread, because we understand that there's another wave that's supposed to be coming. But we've been doing everything in our backyard to make sure that we remain intact. As far as online courses for the fall, we hadn't gotten that far, but we are entertaining that plan to have some of those courses online. But one of the things that we have done is with our dormitories, with some of your dormitories, they have double occupancy. So what we've done is we're going to do single occupancy coming in the fall. So all of our freshmen, males and females and upper class persons will have their own area, their own room. And then we've partnered with some of the hotels around, as well as some of the newly established apartment complexes to secure space just in case we have an overflow.
Okay.
So we, those are some of the things that we're doing in terms of not only the academic side, but also the living side, and to make our students and campus safe to continue the business of education.
All right then. Okay, perfect. That sounds like great plans, great ideas. Okay, I think that I have like pretty much exhausted all of the questions that I have. Joel, is there any like one thing that I forgot to ask?
Well, I'm showing you the plan.
Okay, that's a plan.
I'm showing you our plan for returning. It's called returning to the guide for returning to Tougaloo College. So that's just the caveat to answer your last question, that we have some things going into the works, for some of our parents, because that is a legitimate concern and question that a lot of because we do have a significant number of students that are attempting to come from certain areas like Chicago, Milwaukee. We have some coming from as far as California, which we have an alumni association in a lot of these areas that are pushing for some of their home folks in their respective states to attend their alma mater. So, that is a legitimate question, but I don't have any other questions. I just, I love the conversation and the interaction with you. This has been a beautiful experience. And again, I thank you for allowing us to get our message out, and also our school out, our brand. And I also thank everybody that's working with Infinite Scholars to continue the mission of providing a platform for schools like mine and larger institutions, HBCU and others, to showcase what they have going on. So hopefully this conversation will find and meet some of the students where they are, and also kind of impress upon them to try us out. Tougaloo is a very, very historic institution. It is also has its a really, really good story behind it. Its founding on Christian principles, though we aren't a Christian institution. We are one of the leading forces in the educational sphere, and we have a lot to offer. Our name is it's Cherokee for the number 2. That's what Tougaloo means, and also it's Cherokee. It has a meaning, at the place at the fork of the stream. That's what it means.